Hello, in this video I'll show you how to remove the intake manifold and maybe replace the gaskets or the intake manifold itself on BMW 320D E90. The intake manifold on this engine is located on the left side of the engine, right there. The intake manifold is held by 6 bolts, but before we remove those bolts, first we need to remove the throttle body, this air intake hose, and also the electrical harness. First we'll start by removing the cabin filter housing and also this cover underneath the cabin filter housing. If the video is useful, please like and comment on the video and subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this. Next we're going to remove this the metal bar. So in order to remove it, first we're going to remove this metal plastic cap. There's a bolt there that we need to loosen, and also remove this bolt as well. Next we're going to remove this heat shield. Next we're going to remove the air intake hose. First we're going to remove it from the top. There is a metal clip that we need to pull out and it will come out, and on the bottom is the same. This is on the bottom the air intake pipe, and we need to to pull out this metal clip. And now we'll take out the air intake pipe. Next we're going to remove this throttle valve, or I think it's called anti-shutter valve. It's held by 3 bolts, 2 on top and 1 on the bottom. There is also an electrical connector that we need to remove. First we'll remove the bottom bolt, and then we're gonna remove the 2 top bolts. Now that the 3 bolts are removed, we're going to pull out the throttle valve and it will come out. It might be stuck a little bit, but it will come out. Next we're going to remove this vacuum line. We need to push on those white tabs and pull out the vacuum line. Next we need to remove this harness. Actually not remove it, just remove the electrical connectors that are on this part of the intake manifold. We need to remove them and just bring the harness to the side. The harness is held by 3 bolts that we're going to remove as well. I'm going to remove all the electrical connectors that are in the way and then remove the bolts afterwards. Now that the electrical harness is loose, I can just bring all the electrical connectors to the side, and now I have access to the intake manifold. The intake manifold is held by those bolts right there that I'm showing you. I'm going to remove those bolts. The bolts are actually not coming out, we're only getting them as loose as possible. They go up and down when they're loose. And then we're going to pull out the intake manifold. Before pulling out the intake manifold, I'm going to show you this pipe is held onto the intake manifold, and it's held into the engine with the O-ring. So when you pull out the intake manifold, this pipe will come out. The intake manifold is probably very stuck, so you're going to need to pull it out, just wiggle it a little bit and pull it out, but it will come out eventually. You might need a second person to help you to wiggle out the intake manifold. The hardest thing to come out is that pipe that I showed you with the O-ring on it. And the intake manifold, now it's free, so now I'm going to take it out. And that's the intake manifold out. Now I can replace the gaskets or the intake manifold itself and then put it back in the reverse order. There is 4 gaskets on this intake manifold. This is the metal pipe with the o-ring that I showed you earlier that was hardest to come out, but when you put it back on, it's not that hard, you just press it in. Now that I replaced the gaskets, I'm going to put back the intake manifold in its place. Once the intake manifold is in its place, I'm going to tighten the bolts hand tight. Next, I'll show you in the service manual what's the tightening torques for the inlet manifold to the cylinder head. It says first 5 Newton meters of the bolts and then 10 Newton meters of the bolts. Now I'm going to tighten all the bolts, first 5 Newton meters, then 10 Newton meters. I'm going to start from the middle and go outwards, and then I'm going to put everything back in the reverse order. Hopefully the video was helpful. Thank you for watching.